Hello. Okay, this is Caroline at For the Love of Crochet, and crochet is my true love. But today's episode is going to be all about sewing, and that is because sewing I'm having a little romance with. So my local sewing shop has a couple of clubs, sewing clubs, and that's the club and I like to do. And in these clubs, we get to make one thing a month. And it's really nice because they're trying to help you become familiar with your machine, as well as creating projects that will help you utilize the different tools on your machine throughout the year. So that is awesome. And I'm so glad my sewing shop, Authorized Vac and Sew, is doing that. And I'm going to show you a couple of projects. One that I have right close by is Janome Club. And I'm going to turn you around. Okay, so right here is the sewing machine. And as you can see, I have a Janome M7, and it has a very large throat space. It's computerized. It's a really lovely machine. And I've been working with it for the past, I believe, 8 months now, and I'm learning a lot. So the first project that I just have in front of me is this pillow. Now, I'm so happy. So this one we got to make because we learned to use how to make buttonholes as well as putting in buttons. My machine does it all for me, which is so fantastic. And then we also did this piping that has, I forgot what it's called, but there's a little rope inside, which is a very cool technique. So we did this one in class, and then it's removable because, you just take the pillow out. So I love that because then you can wash it or you can switch out with seasons. So this is so cool. I believe this is Tilda. This is Tilda fabrics that I'm using here. There we go. It's so cool. I love it. Very nice project. Okay, so then I came home and I'm like, ooh, I want to make it again. Because you can't just have one pillow, you need to make two. I made a few mistakes. So that's part of learning though. So I forgot. I see how this stitch line, I'm not supposed to see that. So there's something I did wrong, and when I did it I remembered, but now that I'm telling you I don't remember. And then I did do the piping, but I made my binding strip too short. So it was very hard to sew around it. And then, I didn't have the same buttons, so I used butterfly buttons. So I made a few mistakes on this, and then one button fell off, so I need to replace my button. So it's really cool. Same fabric, only I did the opposite. So they're matching. Kind of hard to see, but you can tell. Look how much better I did in class. I tried to do it at home, but I made a lot of mistakes, and that's okay because it's learning. So that is one of the Janome Club's sewing projects that we did, and we used, like I said, we utilized piping, button making. We used those feet that you don't use because you're like, I don't know how to use it, and it's nice to be able to have someone over your shoulder as you're working it out. So that was cool. Okay, the next thing I made with Janome Club was a project bag. Now this is a project bag by Annie. Crochet Bags 2.0. Good thing about this pattern is it comes in 4 different sizes. We made the jumbo, and this bag is pretty cool because you get to take a fabric and quilt it, but you're using, I love this, I love it. So pretty. So, so pretty. Now, this was a simple project to teach us binding and working with vinyl. So this is like a quilt project because you're binding this and you're quilting it. And so just some techniques that no matter what, even if you're a beginner sewer, you can make these projects, and we do them in just a matter of hours. It's so cool. So this was a lovely project. Again, Janome Club. Really, really like it. So look forward to making some more of those. You can put your embroidery. The jumbo is super big. Super big. You can fit a book in your project in here, in your yarn. Lovely, lovely. Love it. I didn't put a hook on it, but of course you can always hang it by the handle. So that is another one. Felt very, very happy about that one. And this one, Annie's, she also provides tutorials. Like, she walks you through the project. So if you ever buy sewing projects, Annie.com, she has like a series that is beginner, and then she has these super duper deluxe ones that challenge you. Okay, so those are my two projects for Janome Club. Then I got this machine right here. This machine right here, I got my threads on it, little things right here. But this is the Luminaire, Brother Luminaire, and there's a club for that one as well. And so the Luminaire Club, I call it the Illuminati Club. This project is my favorite. Now this came in really handy when I was making my poolside tote, which I gave you guys a sneak peek at. So I put some ugly scissors in there, but it is my snips holder. So this is a little pocket for your scissors. This would be cool for embroidery. And we could have put anything we wanted in here, but I chose snips. This was the embroidery part of the tutorial, and then of course we made these hearts, and lovely, lovely. And I used this glorious fabric that is very shimmery and fancy. I would love a dress made out of that. A little black dress. And this is what came in handy for my poolside tote, because I use these weights. Now we got to embroider different projects, different pictures on here, and of course this is a needle, thread, and thimble, and it is a pattern weight. So for the poolside tote noodle head, this is it. This is a very large pattern piece, and so what I did was I used my weights to do this one, and it came in so handy. Here is another bag. So this one I did a sewing machine. Again, that fabric is just so pretty and shiny. And then the next one is this one. So pretty. I love it. It's so pretty. I love it. And very elegant looking. And here is the last one, which is that key. So cool. Really, really enjoyed making these, and the came in very handy for large patterns that you want to cut out. And then these snips, I think these are better suited for an embroidery project, but that was part of the Luminaire Club at Authorized Pack and Sew. Okay, the next project for Luminaire Club was couching. So we get to With Luminaire, the main feature on that is embroidery. You get to embroider so many lovely things. But another lovely little feature it has is couching, and that is using yarn to embroider on, or embroider with, or decorate with. And so we made these lovely little wall hangings. Now, if you follow me on Instagram, you got a little sneak peek at this one as I was making it, and it also does quilting in the hoop, so I chose a design. Now, right here, the yarn that I used frays very easily, and so I want to get some fray check and put a little dab on there before I do anything with this. And in retrospect, I thought I should have used black letters, but you live and learn. This is what it's all about. You get to do these projects and learn. This fabric is so pretty. So yeah, there's it. So it did the quilting, the couching, it did everything. I just look at the machine and press the button. Very cool project. I love this little pumpkins too. So that is Luminaire Club as well. So that is what I've been working on in the clubs at my local sewing shop. But I have taken a couple of other classes, and one of them is a Laura Heine hip hop collage class, which is anybody can do this. You can do this because all you need is sticky paper, even a glue stick. You could get away with a glue stick, because you're not going to be necessarily using these projects as something you use every day. It's more of a decoration. And so this first project, which I have not finished, Hip Hop Collage Laura Heine. So there it is. You're basically taking little strips of fabric, cutting them to where you want, and making a collage, which is fun. Here is my piece. Now, it's probably not going to do it justice to be on because I have it pinned for quilting. You're not going to see it. So there it is. Hopefully you can see it. So I'm sorry, I have all these little pins. In fact, if you are new to sewing or you don't know about these are clover quilting pins, and they are so cool because they are easy to hold. One of my favorite things that I got recently. So this was a lot of fun. All I have left to do is to quilt it and bind it. And I'm really excited because that was my first time making something like this. That is why I like going to classes, because I need that extra bit of help or when I have a question. So here is the little bunny head. So that is something that I need to work on. A little work in progress. I wanted to make a label for it, and I can easily make a very fancy label with my Luminaire, but there's something also very endearing about a handmade label. And I didn't do that one either because if I procrastinate too much, I won't do it. So I opted for using my Janome, and my Janome can sew these letters. I have letters available as part of my stitches, and I just put my name, my year, and what it is that I made. And then I put this little house because it's going to be for my home, and I just wanted to have something that labeled it. So that's going to go on the back. Okay, next up is a very similar project. And it is called a Wacky Face, again held by my local sewing shop. And I will show you some images of this Wacky Face. Now, if you look up quilted faces by, I'm drawing a blank of what her name is, but it'll all be linked down below. Look at all these faces. The creativity that these quilters have. This is an art piece. This is for fun. This is leftover fabric, and it's so much fun to do. Now, when I go to classes, I do not have as much creativity as I do when I am home. So my piece, what I envisioned just didn't come out. I was just stuck, and I was in love with so many of the projects that the ladies in there that I was in class with. They did so fantastic. I'm not going to share those because I don't have permission, but if you go follow Authorized Back and Sew, you might find them in there because they take clips of them. Okay, so here's mine. If you follow me again on Instagram, you will have already seen this. And I tried to put some sewing elements at the bottom there. A granny square sweater on and being in front of a table. And I tried to give me some black and gray hair. Some dark and gray hair because I'm going dark and gray. And I put some glasses on, and it's so much fun. It was so much fun that I wanted to come home and do this project with my honey and my daughter, and I wanted them to make their own little personal portrait. It was just a lot of fun, and you don't need any fancy, well, I take that back. There is this sticky stuff, this heat and bond light, or this Steam-A-Seam 2 that you use to adhere. It's like putting a sticker sheet on the back of your fabric, and you just cut it out the shape you want and stick it on. But then when you press the iron to it, it becomes permanent and you can no longer move it. Then once you have it all pressed, then you go back and stitch it, and then it becomes art. A quilted art piece from fabric. I would love to share more about this, but I still have to quilt it. But this one requires free motion quilting. So what you do is you take your free motion quilting foot and then you just go around all of the shapes, and it brings definition, and it's like taking a pen and outlining all your shapes that you've colored. So it's a lot of fun. This was so much fun. But again, I find it not as creative as when I have time to think and process, and then, you only bring so many fabrics, and then you kind of look at the store to find fabrics, and you're looking for something to speak to you, but whether you have time to sit and wait, I feel like I'm rushed. That is why I'm not creative, because I am so determined to finish a project while I'm there that I don't care about how good it looks. I want to finish it because I want to go through all the steps in the process and of completing it, and not be stuck with when I go home and I'm like, I didn't get a chance to finish it, so I don't know what to do here. So that is why I'm like, I don't care about the creation part as much as I care about finishing it. So there you go. I have a couple of other sewing projects that are in progress, but I think I want to do a little quick tutorial on, well, not a tutorial. I want to make it its own separate video, this next project, because it is, again, something that is so sweet and endearing and lovely, and using your scraps, and I just think it's such an awesome idea. And so I want to share my thought process as I'm putting it together. So that is coming up. And that is it for now. So that is what's been what I've been sewing. I'm sure there's more projects, but because I'm being such a scatterbrain these days, I can't remember. And I have a ton of projects underneath my table that is becoming an overwhelming pile, so I have to finish those too. All right, well, thank you so much for hanging out with me, and I shall talk to you again soon. Bye.